Hey y'all, Chelsea and Danny here.
Enjoy this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube.
We're right at the start of building a small addition that these homeowners will find very useful.
Today's Homeowner with Danny Lipford. Real projects for real homeowners with real solutions. Information and inspiration on improving your home from professional remodeler Danny Lipford.
Welcome to the show this week. You know, we build a lot of additions for a lot of homeowners for a lot of different reasons. Some may use it as an additional bedroom, bathroom. We've even built additions for additional closet space. But these homeowners are using this as a home office. Certainly a growing trend in a lot of homes where people are realizing instead of paying rent for office space, they can invest it in their homes and create additional space for a home office. Now, if you're thinking of building a home office, we've got a lot of information for you this week. We'll talk to the homeowner about some of the things he's looking forward to and give you a number of things to consider along the way. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show. Now the guys are really hustling trying to get the plywood and the felt on the roof because we're expecting some rain tonight. Now before they started this project, the deck that you see extended another 8 to 10 feet. It's a fairly good sized deck, so the homeowners could give up a little bit of it to make room for the new home office. Now, one reason that we positioned it in the way that we did and the level that we did is so that we can match the floor level going into the adjacent master bedroom and line up with this window to provide us access into the new addition. We'll be replacing this with a door that'll open in this direction. We're even putting glass in this door so that the nice natural light coming into here can still benefit the master bedroom. Now we'll also be taking that very window and putting it in this window opening so that it'll match the rest of the windows in the house. Now we're going to have plenty of windows because we have 2 windows going here, also 2 windows going over on that side, so it'll be nice and bright in here as well. Now we supported this entire addition with 2 vertical supports that are all concrete blocks, 1 on each corner. Now the reason we're only using 2 is the homeowners really wanted a wide open space below the addition to use for future storage. Now we were able to do that with only 2 supports because we used a number of LVL beams or laminated veneer lumber beams and also used the plywood here to serve as our subfloor, so they'll have plenty of storage there later on. Now as I mentioned, the guys are really hustling up top. Let's take a look. Now one of the best things we can do to make an addition not look like an addition is to match both the roof style of the existing house as well as the pitch. Now this roof has a fairly lazy pitch hip roof, which is very easy to duplicate, and that's exactly what we've done with the addition. Same slope and same hip style. Now one of the other things that we've done, which is very important when you're building an addition to your home, is the area that's down below here to cut out a sizable space so that your attic space can ventilate from the old to the new so that you won't have any hot spot or cold spot out in the new area. Very important to integrate it into the existing house. Now all we have left here is a few odd-shaped pieces of plywood decking. Then we're ready for the 15-pound building felt to roll out and create a nice watertight layer over the entire addition. We lace the felt under the existing roof shingles to be sure no water gets inside and secure it with plastic capped roofing tacks. The plywood sheathing for the walls goes on next, followed by the construction of the subfascia and soffit around the perimeter of the roof. This new soffit and fascia has to match exactly and transition smoothly into the existing house. Another area that's very important in the transition is the installation of the skirt board. Now you can see this is a 1x12 that matches the same size as we have on the house. That'll be installed, and that way no one will know what's old and what's new because those horizontal lines will line up just right, just like we had with our roof fascia and soffit. Now after that's installed, we'll be putting a little piece of metal in here that's a flashing called Z-metal. And it actually hooks over the skirt board and behind the siding, so any rain that may come down here will not get behind either one of those, so that's very important. You know, anytime you're thinking of any type of addition or building a new house, it's a good idea to put a little extra layer to protect you from the weather elements. What we've done here is we've added a layer of house wrap. Now, house wrap allows the interior, the inside of the walls to actually breathe, but it will protect any of the cold or hot air or moisture from penetrating into the wall. That's very important on your energy savings and the longevity of the house itself. Now, after they finish the skirt board, we'll put the Z-metal on, we'll install all of the siding and the windows, and we'll turn this thing over to our painters on the outside. Now, stay with us. Next, our simple solution.
Get ready to review your fix-it list as Danny and home repair expert Joe Trewini show you this week's simple solution. Brought to you by DuPont Tyvek. Build it once, build it right.
Homeowners are always looking for ways to add a little more storage space to their home, and an attic is a logical place to look.
Well, the first thing you have to remember, Danny, when you're using an attic for storage space is it doesn't often have a floor down. So here we put down some 1/2-inch plywood, which is minimum you need, and screwed it down to the floor joist.
And I know the shelving that we're constructing here certainly makes a difference in accommodating all the boxes that end up in attics.
Right, and it helps you organize it. Rather than just piling up the boxes you can't find anything, this will give you a nice, neat place to store boxes, and we've lifted it up off the floor deck so that you can slide larger boxes underneath.
Now, what Joe did earlier out in the shop is he took 2 pieces of 1x4 pine and cut the angle on it to match the slope of the roof, and then put them together in a right angle with 3 drywall screws.
Right, Danny, and then all I did is screw them to the roof rafter itself. In this case, it's about 21 inches off the plywood floor, which can vary depending on the slope of the roof. And then I went to the home center and I bought an 8-foot piece of particle board shelving, which comes cut the size, already has the bullnose on it. This one happens to be about 16 inches wide. And then all you need to do is just slide it in these brackets. Just give me a hand, slide it over.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And you'll see at 16 inches, it's plenty deep enough to store some boxes.
That's perfect. I can see where that can make a big difference in several areas of the attic, and I'll help you with these other brackets here.
Great.
Over the last few days, the weather's been great, and it's enabled our carpenters to completely finish the whole exterior of the addition. After all of the windows were in, they installed the reverse board and batten wood siding, and then came back with trim around the windows as well as on the corners. Now, we thought that we could use the original stairs that went from the wood deck down to the ground and relocate them to this side of the addition. But when we were taking them off from the wall, they'd been so water damaged they basically fell apart in our hands, so we had to create a whole new staircase. We started out with putting our 6x6 posts that are all treated down in the ground, putting concrete around, then framing up 2 landings to provide transitions between the stringers. Then we installed all of our stringers and were able to complete most of the stairs. Now, they'll come back with handrails and another set of steps going down to the ground. And this is a great way of handling a large set of steps like this. To break it up in a couple landings, it looks better and really is a lot easier to navigate up into the new area. Now, on the inside, we've been able to install all of our insulation, both in the ceilings and the walls, and even foamed a lot of the holes that we had that were penetrations through the double plate wall. This will really provide a good energy efficient space. Also, all of the drywall has been installed and finished, and a little bit of trim work's taking place now. Now, also, our owner is out, the homeowner, Steve Johnson, to kind of get an idea of how he's going to utilize his new home office. Well, Steve, you can see things are coming together here.
Yeah, Danny, they are. They're coming up real fast.
Well, you know, with the stage that we're in now, you can probably kind of start laying out how you're going to utilize this. I know if it was my home office, I'd probably have a table under each of the windows and that kind of thing.
Right.
What's your ideas?
Well, I was out looking at furniture this weekend, and I think what I'm going to do is design sort of what I'd call a cockpit area, just with work surface right at the windowsill level that really surrounds me from here over through here, lateral files under there, maybe some hutch space right here. But my design all along has been to have the terminal in the window
I see.
so that I don't pick up glare from any of the
Well, that
windows
makes
on the
sense.
computer
Yeah,
screen.
sure.
I've run into that before.
That makes sense. And also with having 9-foot ceilings, if you ever wanted any bookcases up high for anything, you got plenty of space for that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Now, what about your flooring? When you mentioned having the little cockpit area here, I see that chair rolling around. So what'd you decide on your floor?
We're going to go ahead and continue the Berber carpet, just straight out from the bedroom to try to make this feel more like a bedroom suite. But I'll just have a nice chair mat here so that we don't tear up the carpet.
Okay, good. So really, after you use it as a home office for a few years, and if you decide to sell, someone could use this for almost any type of room then.
Oh, I think so. I think it will be used as much as just, I told my kids it's my timeout space. And everybody needs a break from me or I need a break from them. So we've got the entertainment system in here with cable and speaker wires out to the deck, got residential phone line over there so that if someone wants to get rid of the extra phone line that we have DSL service on, they can do that too.
Perfect. All right, great. And I know with it being an office, you've probably given a lot of consideration to making sure you have plenty of electrical outlets.
Can't have enough of them. So by the time we have, I think, about 6 different outlets in here, and then you plug in the surge protectors that may have 8 outlets in there, I think we'll be covered.
Now also I noticed that you selected a full glass door here. I guess that's really to take advantage of all the glass that we have in here so that the room is not darkened by the addition, since we're doing away with one window. that you
Right,
had
so
there.
we gave up that window and then but added all of this glass, so that's a good way to just bring the sunlight in. Because at one time we had talked about just doing, a sunroom here,
Right.
and decided to go more with a traditional expansion like this.
Yeah, it works perfect. And also, I don't know in your business if you have a lot of clients that come in and visit, but with having the exterior door, if you do have those situations, that's a great little amenity for any home office to have that separate entrance.
It will be, although it'll be used more by one of my dogs who likes to come in while I'm working.
Okay, all right, that's perfect. Well, really, it shouldn't take us long to wrap this up and
Good.
get you back to work in here
Good.
with a little bit of painting, a little bit of flooring, and you'll be ready for all the furniture to move in
Great.
here.
I'm looking forward to it.
Stay with us. After our Best New Product segment, we'll show you how we complete this home office.
Now let's join Danny at the Home Center to check out the best new products. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
Now, you may have considered installing a whole house burglar alarm in your home and then realized how expensive a system like that can be. Now, a more reasonable alternative is to address the doors and windows you're most concerned with a wireless alarm unit. And that's where the Intermatic door and window alarm could really come in handy. Now, this unit consists of 2 small components, one being the alarm itself that's powered by several watch batteries, and then you have your on and off switch right on the side. And next to that, you would mount this little magnetic contact with using the double stick tape that's available in the package itself. Now, once these are together and you turn the alarm on, any separation of these two will create a 90 decibel alarm sounding on each and every door and window that has had the unauthorized entry. Now, these are recommended for only indoor use, and the batteries will last you a little over a year depending on how often they go off. Now, of course, these are only $7 a piece, so you can afford to really do a number of the doors and windows that you're concerned with and achieve that peace of mind without spending a lot of money. Steve's home office is really coming together. Our painters just about completed all the painting of the inside, and our electricians in the process of putting all the plate covers on and wrapping up all of the electrical trim out, including the installation of the ceiling fan that we have overhead. Now, Steve mentioned earlier he chose to go with more residential looking fixtures than the more commercial looking fluorescents that a lot of people use in the home office, so that later on this room could be used for anything, and it's fairly conveniently located right beside the wood deck, so that could maybe use this later as a TV room, some other purposes there. Now, also, we've been able to complete, of course, before the painting took place, all of the drywall finishing, which was very important. And the next step will be to install our carpet. Then Steve will be able to bring all the furniture in that he selected. That's been quite a task figuring out exactly how he wanted to use the room. Now, there's a number of companies that are out there that specialize in furniture for the home office. Recently, we talked with one. And Mark, I really like this one. I'm with Mark Purvis, who's helped a lot of homeowners make the right decision on their home office furniture. Now, what does a homeowner need to bring when they come into a showroom like this? What kind of information do you really need to help
Well,
them?
the most important thing is going to be your space requirements. If you're putting it in a room where the whole room is designated to your home office, you really need the measurements of that room, where your windows are and stuff like that.
Okay, all right. But if it's placed in, say, a existing living room or something, you're really having to be compatible with the existing furniture, I guess.
Exactly. You're really limited to space when you do something like that. Well, one of the advantages of putting it in a home office in a separate room is you don't have to go with the entire decor of the rest of the house.
Sure, that makes sense. Oh, I like this one in any decor, and I really like the way everything kind of tucks away, get the clutter out of the way.
It's nice. It's real nice. These doors open up and slide in. And this is where all of your different components go for your computer. This pulls out for your keyboard. You got two pullouts down here for, let's say, a printer and a scanner.
Okay, so do you really need to know all the equipment they have in terms of computer equipment to accommodate that?
Not at all. In most cases, the furniture is going to adapt to the size of the equipment. Say this, for example. This pullout raises up if you had a printer and a scanner fax all built in one and you needed that extra height in here.
Oh, that's perfect. So it's real flexible, versatile. That's great.
Tucks everything away and frees your desktop up.
Okay, now, I assume some of these have file storage because the old metal filing cabinet doesn't look good in any decor.
Not at all,
So
not at all.
how's that handled then?
Well, in something like this, when you spend that much money and put that much time into considering something like this, you've got your built-in file space right here and then just regular drawers for paper. Also got storage up here for books and even hideaway CD storage.
Oh, perfect. All right, great. And I guess configurations, different L shape or whatever, you can pretty much handle any of that with a home office equipment.
Exactly. Well, it really depends on what you're using the computer for. If you're using it more for recreational purposes and you're putting it in a family room, we have things that are computer armoire that closes all up. It's like an office in a box.
Oh, okay,
And if
perfect.
you're using it more for, if you work more at home and you need more workspace, you got setups like this where a desk and credenza, or even in an L shape. It's got your computer on one side and then your workspace on the other.
That's great. Well, this is some great information, and just by walking around the showroom, I can see there's a lot to choose from.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Now, stay with us. When we come back, we'll see this completed home office right after our Around the Yard.
Now let's go outside for Around the Yard with Danny and lawn and garden expert Tricia Craven-Worley. Brought to you by TimberTech Composite Decking. Less work, more life.
Tricia, these ants just drive me crazy. It seems like they're everywhere around the house, and then when it starts getting dry, they find their way inside now. How are you going to help me with a bag of grits?
Well, the grits are really helpful because ants are a problem regardless of where you live, because they go inside because they're looking for moisture. Well, the grits, contrary to your thought that maybe I'm going to make breakfast on the front porch, my husband is from Michigan and I both love grits for breakfast. And you know who else likes grits? Ants.
Now, how can that really kill them? I mean, what really works there?
Well, let me give you a little demonstration. We're just going to spread these grits out here, old-fashioned kind, not the instant. And what happens is these ants are going to ingest the grits. And just as when you cook grits, they expand in moisture,
Right.
when they take them into their body, the grits expand from the moisture of their body and it kills them.
Well, you know, they really don't cause a lot of problems inside, but are they causing any problems outside being around?
They cause a lot of problems outside because they have a symbiotic relationship with aphids. And aphids are a big problem throughout the United States and cause a lot of damage to a lot of kind of plants. So the grits, you can spread that on the concrete, you can put it on grass, you can put it around plants in a lot of areas, but you want to make sure that you put it in a dry setting because, again, it's the action of the moisture that causes it to expand.
Well, maybe they should add some of this information to the instructions here on the back of the grit pack.
Great idea.
Steve selected his office furniture, moved it in, and set up shop. He opted for a more traditional style desk because he really wanted to be in front of the windows. The last step before Steve moved in was the installation of the Berber carpet. Now, outside, the stairway for the deck is complete, as well as some handrail replacement on the existing deck. And the outside of the addition has been stained to match the house. This home office addition took about 6 weeks to complete and was fairly simple as far as additions go. But here's a few things to consider if you're thinking about a similar project. First of all, access into the new area is very important. Here, we were able to convert an old window opening to the doorway we needed into the master bedroom. That worked out great. Also, plan ahead for any of your power or communications needs. Make sure you have everything in the walls before the walls go up. And try to use residential fixtures if you can. You'll be glad you did come resale time. And remember what Steve said. this home office can serve as a retreat, so have some fun with it. Until next week, I'm Danny Lipford.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.